Hey, everybody, welcome to Battle Wounds Podcast. And I'm your host, Amos St. John. Listen, we're here, and this is a continuation from last week. This is part 2 of 10 ways to navigate growing pains. But before we get started, if you haven't subscribed, this is your chance to subscribe. Go ahead and press that subscribe button. If you're on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, make sure you follow, you like, you comment, you share this, and so we can help grow this army that I pray to build of people who are trying to overcome the things that they've battled, the life's traumas, the challenges, and they are getting better and they're tending to their wounds. This is battle wounds, and we're back in the fight, stronger and better than ever. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you subscribe and you join this journey as we navigate life together. So listen, we're at part 2. If you haven't listened to part 1, go back, and before we start this episode, go back to part 1 so you can understand. But I'll do a little review if you just want to stick around on this episode. But let's keep it going. This is part 2, and we talked about 10 ways to navigate growing pains. The first week we talked about having a healthy relationship with change. Change is inevitable. And we talked about developing a growth mindset. And the third thing, managing your moods, and then fourth is giving yourself grace, and then fifth, embracing discomfort. Those 5 tools, I really hope for those who tuned in last week, you took some time to process it, and hopefully it helps you now, understanding, navigating, growing pains, and these are great tools. And but we got another 5 that we need to talk about this week, and I just want to get straight to it. Okay. Number 6 of 10 ways to navigate growing pains is be intentional. Yes, be intentional. Don't waste no more time. Whether in relationships, friendships, business deals, whatever, social circles, be intentional. Tomorrow is not promised. So whatever you are desiring to do in this season of your life, be intentional. Stop. You don't realize how much time you waste sometimes when you're not intentional, or you just kind of just frazzling around, but be intentional. What are your dreams, your goals? What is your next move? What are the steps to get there? Where are you today? Are you in a deficit? Or, you gotta be aware and be intentional on having a way to navigate. You know what I'm saying? The growing pains. So be intentional. That's number 6. Number 7 is, this is a tough one. It's failure is necessary. Oh man, nobody wants to fail. I do not want to fail, but it's necessary, because in the failure, there's maybe a little shame, some embarrassment, some depression. But in that, if you allow it, if you embrace the change and develop a growth mindset, have those other tools, when you'll look at failure totally differently. So many people we deal with as success stories, they had to navigate failure. Yes, they had to navigate loss. They had to navigate in order to win and grow. They navigated failure. So I say that statement, failure is necessary. All right. Now, some of us are blessed to not experience too much of it. Cool. But for those who are going through and experiencing failure or loss, just take it as a necessary lesson. It's painful, but it's growing you at the same time. I can navigate in my life many times that I failed, and I couldn't blame no one else but myself. I go back to my marriage. I'm a very family oriented guy. Being divorced was never a part of my life plan, and so I look at getting a divorce initially as a failure. Like, man, this was one of the strongest areas of my life that failed. It happens, but it was necessary because I've discovered so much things about myself that I probably would have allowed to lie dormant and I would have never been able to reach my full potential in life where I'm heading now. You know, I feel like the trajectory in my life, I'm going to be able to operate to my fullest potential and die empty. Whenever that time comes, I want to die empty. Everything that is in me, I want to just let out, whether ideas, creativities, all that things, I just want to let out. And if I didn't position and go through some failures, I wouldn't have woken up. So understand that failure is necessary. In many certain circumstances, the failure helped you elevate, grow. So if you can develop that mindset to understand, like, this is painful, this is shameful, this is hurtful. It's sometimes it's what is it called? It's devastating, you know, and it can create some pause. It can debilitate you. And so, but it's necessary for your growth. It's necessary for your growth. Look at some of the idols, you know, like I always say Jeff Bezos or Mark Zuckerberg or Tyler Perry, or, you know, anyone who has reached a certain level of huge success have gone through some failure. And it may not just be one failure, failures. So just embrace the fact that failure is necessary for you to grow. All right. Number 8, no pain, no gain. Oh gosh, y'all not gonna like me. Y'all like, man, what is the dude talking about? No pain, no gain. Listen, I sound like my trainer, you know, Tank, Aaron Tank Searles. I hopefully have him back in the show soon. But listen, no pain, no gain. I can hear him now. I mean, I'm in, my muscles are aching. And he's like, you got to keep going. No pain, no gain. This is painful. Growth is painful. Growth is, I mentioned debilitating at times. But if without that pain, there is no gain, you won't be able to grow. It's a very difficult process, but you're growing. You got to keep going. No pain, no gain. Yes, that's part of navigating growing pains. You got to embrace the pain, because you're not going to experience gains if you don't deal with pain. All right. And number 9, this one's a little different. You know, I've navigated this and I'm learning. This is relatively a new revelation for me. And number 9 says, never trust a deficit. What do I mean by that? I'm about to explain. And again, number 9 says, never trust a deficit. And so when you're dealing with growing pains, you're dealing with failure, you feel like you're going in a loss, you deal with a deficit. And in a deficit, you experience a lot of desperation. All right, I'm between jobs. I need money. I need that. And you start, thinking less of yourself. You start settling for just anything. All right, well, I can't get this job, so maybe I need to settle for this job. Never trust a deficit. You have to navigate the deficit a little differently. Don't get so desperate, then you end up settling. Even in relationships. Well, I can't get a date. Well, I guess the first person that says hello, I'm just going to jump at. No, don't trust a deficit. You're not going to make a wise decision in a deficit. Okay? So you never trust a deficit. Like, I struggle with that because, yes, I'm a person, I don't like being at a loss, you know what I'm saying? But I'm learning now as I grow, that is part of the process. Embrace it. Think about it as differently. And so I'm like, wow. So, but I've noticed it's like when I reach a certain point of deficit, like, oh man, I got to catch up on this, or my money's low or stuff like that. I'll make a decision out of desperation that will, at the long run, will end up hurting me more. So why I share this from experience. Don't trust a deficit. Never trust a deficit. Be careful how you navigate deficits. Okay? It's part of your growth. The loss, the failure, the pain, it brings you at a deficit. And sometimes you get a little desperate to get out of the deficit, but sometimes you have to dwell in the deficit in order to understand and let it grow you and mature you so you can grow. But don't trust the deficit, because again, if you make a decision in a deficit, you're playing with fire. Basically, you're desperate and you're going to settle for something way beneath your standard. I'm speaking to somebody, myself included. Be careful of the decisions you make when you're in a deficit. It's understandable. You got to do what you got to do, but be aware that you're in a deficit. And so this decision may not be the most beneficial, but you got to do what you got to do. Okay, understand. But at least be aware that you're in a deficit. Don't act like this was the best decision you ever made. No, I did this because I was in a deficit. Okay, yeah. But if you're acting like, yo, this is it, this is the bomb, and knowing darn well it wasn't the bomb decision, you were desperate. Be careful. Never trust a deficit. It's a deficit. You're at a loss. You're losing, and you're doing whatever it is to stop yourself from drowning. Understandable, but be aware that it's just. Don't trust it. Don't think this is the it and all. Don't think this is all you can afford or all you deserve. You deserve the best. Success is on your horizon. You have to navigate growing pains to get there. So navigate even the deficits differently, knowing that this is just temporary. So be careful when you make decisions when you're in a deficit, because it's only temporary. You're not going to be in a deficit long. So don't make long-term decisions when you're in a deficit, because, again, it may not be the wisest decision. You're making it from a place of desperation, of loss, of low, a low place. Be careful. So never trust a deficit. I can stay here forever, but I can't. I'm just gonna just leave it there. Never trust a deficit. I'm telling you, that's a hard lesson I had to learn in this season of my life. And it forced me to kind of look back at other seasons in my life and this other decisions I've made. And I was like, oh, crap, I made a decision. I was in a deficit. That's why it ended that way. Oh, because I made a decision while I was in a deficit. Well, I ain't going to do that no more. You know what I'm saying? So I can speak from experiences like, nah, don't trust the deficit, because it may not be the best place to make a decision. So I really want to encourage you. Yeah, I'm telling you, in this part, I talked about number 6, be intentional. Number 7, failure is necessary. Number 8, no pain, no gain. And then number 9, never trust a deficit. And then finally, as we close, I sound like a preacher, but yeah, as we close, number 10, this is huge. And this is a great way to end this series. Substantial growth takes time. Man, I'm going to say that again. Number 10 is substantial growth takes time. Many of us struggle with patience right now because we're in a deficit. We get a little bit short, patience. Our patience ain't, we ready to get out this deficit. But substantial growth, if you want to grow substantially, it takes time. So patience. I was just listening to another podcast and another influencer that I follow. He said, patience is not the waiting. Patience is what you do while waiting. I said, oh my gosh. I think I can't really pronounce his name well. It's Alberner Banner, something to that point. I can't remember how to pronounce his name, but he's an amazing a motivational speaker. I believe he's a pastor. But he said that, and it blew my mind. It's like, patience is not waiting. Patience is what you do while waiting. Oh my gosh. And so many of us in our waiting season, we're struggling with patience. We're struggling with patience. It's like, I don't want to be here long. I'm in a deficit. I feel like I'm losing. I'm failing. Oh, I need to climb out of this hole I'm in. But it takes time. You're at the brink of a huge win, but substantial growth takes time. It doesn't happen overnight all the time, y'all. Most of the times it doesn't. There's definitely a couple of unicorns out there where the growth happened overnight and boom, it happened. But if you embrace a patient mindset and outlook on it all, you'll be able to navigate the growing pain, the seasons of growing pains better, because you understand I'm growing, and if I want a substantial growth, it's going to take time. I myself am in a season of going through growing pains, and I realize substantial growth takes time. So I pace myself differently. I'm not in a rush to do things to get out of a deficit. I realize I'm going to have to experience a little bit of failure in order to gain a substantial growth. Be patient. It's coming. It's going to happen. The light bulb is going to come, you know what I'm saying? The right situation is going to come to you. There are seasons where you go get it, but there's some seasons you just got to be still and let things fall in place. Again, if you're a believer, you know that God is in control. He's sovereign. He sees it all. He knows it all. And everything that's happening, sometimes things are not happening because he's preparing something for you, or he's you know what I'm saying, he's protecting you from something. That rejection, that failure, it was necessary to avoid a deeper deficit. We don't know. We just have to trust, have faith, be patient. Easier said than done. Yeah, I get it. But understand, if you want substantial growth, it's got to take time. Let time be on your side. I know, like we said, tomorrow's not promised. And so, some of us feel like the edge, like, man, I got to go get it. Understandable. But I realize 9 times out of 10, substantial growth takes time. And you have to endure a lot. There's some lessons that needs to be taught and learned and embraced. And I am definitely, I have a testimony just knowing like navigating growing pains. Like I learned so much about myself. Like, so when I'm entering my next season, I'm coming wiser, stronger, better. I sound like Marvin Sapp. You never would have made it. Let me stop. But seriously, like I'm better. I'm stronger. First because of God. And then I'm navigating growing pains in a healthy way. And, and I mentioned having a healthy relationship with change, developing a growth mindset, managing my moods, giving myself grace. I'm embracing discomfort. I'm being intentional. I realize that failure is necessary, and understand without pain, there's no gain. And really, this is one of the biggest lessons right here. And number 9, never trust a deficit. Don't make decisions when you're in a very low place, because it may not be the best place to make a long-term decision. Be careful. Never trust the deficit. And then number 10, substantial growth takes time. Nobody wants to wait. Everybody wants that microwave overnight quick success, because what's happening. You want to go viral. You want to, speaking of viral, yes, I did go viral a few months ago. It was great. A great experience. I did not expect it. I mean, people be like, oh, you must have did something. I ain't do nothing. I just kept doing the same thing over and over for many years, and it just hit at the right time. I'm not between 2 videos. I'm like almost like 4 million views. I'm a little bit past 3.5 million views between 2 videos on my Instagram, and I'm just playing hymns, and I went viral. I mean, to the point that I grew from like 4,000 followers. Now I'm at over 40,000 followers. And speaking of followers, subscribe, please. I need the same amount of folk that's on my Instagram, on my YouTube, because special things are coming. Okay. That's another plug. Sorry. But seriously, like, that overnight success, like, oh my gosh, you just blew up. No, I've been at this for a long time. I've been on Instagram posting for a long time. My videos barely made the hundreds of views, and I was satisfied with 400 views. Now I'm getting the thousands and 100,000s of views, to millions of views. And but it's because I realized substantial growth takes time. It may have turned around overnight to millions of views, but I've been at this thing for a long time. And I'm still having that mindset. Like, I'm not there yet. I'm still growing. I'm not an influencer, and I'm, whatever. I'm still having that mindset of it takes time. I'm gonna still keep being consistent. I'm going to be intentional, and embracing different things and change, and having a growth mindset during this season of growing pains. So I just wanted to share this, we're ending season 5. This is actually the season finale for season 5. I'm going to take a little break, kind of regroup, get ready we're in the summertime. So just catch up on the old episodes. You're going to take a couple weeks off. But next season, y'all be ready. I'm toning. Oh my gosh, we going a whole nother level. Season 6, God willing. Whoo, y'all be ready. I got the guests that I got coming. I'm coming in hot. I'm coming in hot. Season 6 is going to be something special, y'all. But until then, go back. Like I've been doing this 5 seasons. Recently, I've done 2 since I've relaunched the Battle Wounds podcast. Catch up on it if you haven't. I had some great guests on there, great topics. But I wanted to end in this growing pains, 10 ways to navigate growing pains. Part 1, this was part 2, and we're ending the season 5. Gonna take a little break, regroup, get the summer going, and then we're coming back hard on season 6, man. I'm gonna turn it up, God willing. I'm going to turn it up. So let's go. I'm so excited about this journey. Thank you so much for tuning in, being a part of this Battle Wounds podcast. We got a lot of work to do. So I do appreciate the faithful ones who take time to listen and be a part of this journey. Make sure you share this with someone. You get to learn a lot about me. I'm a very unique individual. I don't consider my life to be very exciting. I don't want to say I'm boring, but I just chill. I'm really chill. I try to live drama free, but I've learned a lot and I'm learning a lot. I feel like I'm forever a student. I've navigated a lot of lows and I've experienced quite a few highs. And so I want to share my experiences and going through therapy and dealing with ministry and dealing with being a music professional. And now I'm in filmmaking and all that I'm dealing with. I want to share and just help inspire someone to be their best selves, So thank you for being a part of this journey. We got a lot more coming in store. Make sure you share this with someone and just remember, health is wealth. Come on, be healthy in your mind, your body, your soul. Health is wealth. It's cool to have a whole bunch of money in your bank account, but if you don't have good health, you ain't gonna really enjoy it. So make sure you have your priorities set. Health is wealth. Your mind, your body, your soul, and then your finances, of course. All that'll follow if you have the right things in order and priorities. And so I appreciate, again, you tuning in. Until next season, remember, health is wealth. See you on the other side. Bye.